one of the documents that were being circulated was in fact an electronic copy of a letter that was sent to the PUC from our auditor. It's something that's called a management letter by some people. Our auditor referred to it as a letter of representation. In effect, when the audit for the PUC is being conducted, people from our account section work with the auditor. They can only answer questions for the auditor up to a point. Thereafter, the auditor would normally write a letter to top management for explanations of certain things, right? And I would like to deal with some of the issues raised in that management letter. That thing was solely for the purpose of management. The auditor did not have all the required information to complete his audit, and so he was asking questions. One thing I must point out, when the final audit was sent to the PUC, unfortunately I neglected to bring a copy of that letter. The auditor made it plain that those questions that were asked was as a result of representations made by a member of our staff. In other words, that person made certain comments to him based on his knowledge, some in areas he weren't familiar with, and it was on that basis that the auditor wrote that letter. And another thing, before I start, I would like to point out that these audits that the PUC have retained our auditor to do are not required by law. Under the law, it is the Auditor General's office that is supposed to audit the PUC every single year. Unfortunately, and I can't say why, it could be lack of resources, whatever, since the PUC was established, the Auditor General's office has only audited the PUC once. We voluntarily decided that that isn't something that we would like to sustain, and so we hired an auditor to audit our accounts annually.